Hi, I'm Abby, senior editor of Read It Forward, and these are the books I'm reading all September long.
Hi everyone, it's Jess, assistant editor at Read It Forward. Today I'll be sharing 3 books that I have fallen in love with. But before I get into it, I do just want to say that this will be the last of my recommendations because I'm actually leaving Read It Forward. I'm excited for this new chapter, but of course I will miss you all. Thank you for watching these videos and for all of your support.
My first pick is The Book of Two Ways by Jodi Picoult. Now, I'm so excited for a new novel by Jodi Picoult, and this one looks amazing. It centers on Dawn Edelstein, who is flying on a flight when she hears the captain say, "Prepare for a crash." Now, what flashes through her mind? It's not her husband, but a man she last saw 15 years ago named Wyatt Armstrong. He's working as an archaeologist, which would have been her chosen life path had other things not intervened. So thankfully they all land safely, and she's given a choice to either fly home or she could fly anywhere in the world, including to the dig site in Egypt where Wyatt is. This book looks at second chances and the choices that we make that shape our life path. It's a really stunning story.
City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert continues to be one of my favorite books. I first read it last year on a beach in Florida, and I remember feeling so captivated by the 1940s New York City setting and by the immaculate theater that Liz Gilbert created. I recently read it for a second time with my virtual book club, and I felt the same exact way. All of the characters are divine, but very, very flawed, especially our protagonist, Vivian. But you'll fall in love with them because of this and become very attached to their stories. So if you're looking for a good historical fiction novel, definitely recommend this one.
My second pick is A Knock at Midnight by Brittany K. Barnett. This is a fascinating memoir that examines the criminal justice system here in the United States. Brittany was only a law student when she came across the case of Sharonda Jones. Now, Sharonda Jones was a single mother, a business owner, and she was behind bars serving a life sentence without parole for a first-time drug offense. Brittany saw a lot of herself in Sharonda, and she also saw a lot of her mother, who had been formerly incarcerated. As Brittany began to study Sharonda's case, she realized that widespread racial injustice forms the core of America's addiction to incarceration. And moved by Sharonda's plight, she set to work to gain her freedom. This memoir is incredibly moving. I cried more than one time. And it's also a really important examination of our justice system, or injustice system, here in the United States.
The Last Train to Key West by Cleeton is a riveting read. It is historical fiction, and it has to do with interconnected characters. So it's 1935, and 3 women's paths collide in the Key West. One woman is a Key West native, one is on her honeymoon, and one recently moved there after some financial trouble. And what happens is a huge hurricane hits, and these women are kind of forced together in really unexpected ways. And from there, they kind of must work together to overcome some of their hardships. I really love this book. I have been leaning heavily on historical fiction, and Cleeton is one of my favorites. So definitely recommend picking up this book and then also reading Next Year in Havana and When We Left Cuba.
My third pick is The Lions of Fifth Avenue by Fiona Davis. Now, if you know me, you know I am obsessed with Fiona Davis and everything she writes. All of her books center in 2 different time periods, and they always focus on a very famous historic New York building. And the building in this book is one of my favorites. It's the New York Public Library. We meet Laura Lyons, who in 1913 has just moved into the apartment inside the library. Her husband is the superintendent, and she lives there with her husband and her children. But she's smart and she wants more, and so starts attending Columbia Journalism School, where her world is cracked wide open. She begins to learn about suffrage and birth control and women's rights, and soon starts questioning her role as wife and mother. But then valuable books start disappearing from the library, which threaten everything she knows and loves. Now, fast forward 80 years, and we meet Sadie, who in 1993 has just received her dream job as the curator of the New York Public Library. She starts diving into the legacy and life of her grandmother, but rare manuscripts and notes and books start disappearing from the library out from under her nose. This novel is a little bit of mystery, a little bit of book lover setting in the library, and it's a whole lot of fun.
Transcendent Kingdom by Gyasi is incredible. I cannot recommend it enough. If you love a good moving family story and an immigrant story, then this is the book for you. It follows Gifty, who is studying neuroscience at Stanford University, and she is dealing with a lot of grief as tragedy has struck her family. Her brother has overdosed and died, and her mother suffers from very bad depression and can't get out of bed. And as she tries to understand the science behind why this is happening to her family, she also finds herself looking to her past and leaning on the faith and the values that she grew up with in Ghana. So this book will move you to tears, but also teach you a lot about what it means to be an immigrant family and all of the generational trauma that comes along with it. Also, I want to add that on Instagram, we're doing a really fun buddy read of Transcendent Kingdom all throughout the month of September. Use the hashtag KingMe to read along, and follow at Melanated Reader, Crystal Forte, who's amazing, to keep up with the buddy read. There's a Zoom discussion at the end of the month.
There you have it, readers. Those are my picks for what you should add to your September TBR pile. Happy reading!